Hello, welcome back everybody. My name is Jamin Devon from Sunland News.
Robin from Martin County Press.
And we're back.
We are
in full
back.
effect, in the flesh or through digital. However you're consuming this, we're here.
Right, exactly.
How are you feeling today?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain. First of all, I just want to point out, we're adding stuff to the set.
I feel like it should be a game every week. People should be like, hey, I noticed the one new thing you just did.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a thing in a show. Like back in the day, they would like hide like a pineapple in every episode or something. You had to find it. It was like a little, we might do that. We might start hiding stuff.
Maybe. These are a little more obvious.
These
pictures.
But I love this. This is great. We're growing.
Yes.
And speaking of growth, shout out everybody who's been tuning in, who's been watching this. I just want to say, if you get any value out of this, please just share it with one friend, if you don't mind. That's all I ask of you. But yeah, people have been tuning in. What do you think about that?
I love the questions that we're getting. I think that's kind of directing what today's episode is going to look like a little.
Yeah, for sure.
But I do appreciate everybody's questions, everybody's comments. Even when they think that we're saying something incorrectly, we have a chance to clarify it.
100%.
So where would you like to begin?
Well, I mean, we can hop straight into the big tech coming into Florida.
Yes.
Which we touched on a little bit at the last, near the end of the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say too much about it, which is on me. I wish I would have expounded on it. But Palantir recently moved their headquarters to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Ellison family, who's famous for not only just Oracle now, which is a huge data business. They also are famous for buying Paramount. Mm-hmm. Along with attempting to buy Warner Brothers recently. It's been a lot of news in that regard happening.
Yeah.
But they recently purchased Lion Country Safari. I see some people maybe speculating on what that could mean.
Yep.
We don't know anything for sure just yet. A couple years ago, I believe it was Citadel that moved down to Miami. And I think now they're building like a 54-story headquarters down there.
Yeah, I don't even know. It's so hard to keep up with, and it's changing because every commission is a little bit different in what they will approve as far as what's permitted, like height, industry, et cetera.
Yeah.
And so everything's kind of like this weird moving target, it feels like.
Yeah, and it's very interesting. And I'm just wondering what it is. I mean, obviously I think the similar thing is sort of happening, say, like in the state of Texas, where, maybe, states that have a little bit more lax rule sets around building and, infrastructure. And my thinking is, and again, this is not me reporting on anything, this is just me thinking out loud, is I wonder what the tie-in is between them moving here and all of the sort of data center talk that's happening. I mean, Florida seems to, it's teetering along the lines of becoming like, each state has its sort of industry it's known for. Is Florida going to be the state that's known for data centers? That's my concern.
Yeah, I don't know. I've read about data centers trying to get into other states as well, Texas, Florida, and some others. And so it's just interesting, the appetite of the current administration. I think that has a lot to do with it. It's not even so much what our landscape looks like. Could we actually allow for it, right? Like, do we have the landscape? Do we have the infrastructure? Do we have the water? Do we have whatever's needed to permit these things?
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it is contingent upon the political atmosphere and the current administration of each of those states.
Yeah. And that's another interesting thing to pay attention to, which is why I love focusing on home, focusing on local, and even now like moving up and like focusing on the state level. What the state is saying versus what the federal is saying versus what the people at home saying, it always feels like three totally different conversations.
Right, yeah.
Because the people here, one, I think we're also getting information about other states that have data centers, the quality of the water, the noise pollution, all these different things. And even the one that was proposed here in St. Lucie County, which recently another report came out, Sunland News reported this back in December. But, there doesn't seem to be any movement on the data center happening here.
But see, I actually feel like there's a lot of movement we're not seeing.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Of course.
So the movement is the public movement that we're not seeing anything move publicly.
Yes, for sure.
We're hearing things behind the scenes. We're hearing about letters that are being sent by certain current members of Congress. We're hearing about certain things that are just kind of being jockeyed behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Until we get confirmation of anything, it's really just hearsay.
Yeah, for sure.
But publicly, I would agree with you.
Yeah, it seems like the conversation has died down for sure. And to that point, though, the last conversation I had about this with some people at both the city of Fort Pierce level and at the county level was that they were completely unsure of themselves. So I think the idea was that they were actually going to travel out of state, go to a couple of other counties across the country where data centers are present just to get a lay of the land, obviously. because I know one official told me, their main concern was like the size of the data center. I think they were talking about like 1.1 million square feet under roof. Like
That's
it
crazy.
would be the largest building in the world, but only 600 full-time jobs.
Right.
And then, on the other side of that, there's just just this week Project Orchard, I believe they're calling it, where the county is sort of bidding for like a 1,200 job sort of, large corporation to come here. So it's like, when you have stuff like that, you've got Amazon about to add another 1,000 jobs right here in Fort Pierce. 600 jobs seems sort of, dismal compared to what it is that we're getting out of the deal. So but to your point though, stuff is still occurring. Stuff is still happening. It's still being talked about. Just how much we are sort of getting as the public is, I think, where the disconnect is. Is that your take?
I would totally agree.
For sure. And I mean, even in Indiantown, there seems to be some conversation about that as well.
Yeah, there is. There's a lot of scuttle that's happening. And I think everybody's just trying to figure out what's best for the community and what's sustainable. It's not even so much what's good right now.
Yeah.
What is sustainable? So if we're going to make the investment into building something, is it sustainable? Can it pay for itself? What is the responsibility of the taxpayer to be able to support this endeavor? So it's a lot of things that we need to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. And then the last thing I'll say on this, I think it's interesting timing with people sort of choosing Florida as a hot spot. There's a lot going on.
Right around the elections.
Yeah. I'm telling you, 2026 is going to be a
messy,
very, very messy year. Speaking of messy.
Yes.
Last week, we did an amazing episode.
I did enjoy it.
Yeah, I enjoy every episode we do.
Yeah.
And we got into the conversation around House Bill 203.
Yes, the property tax revision.
We put a clip out.
Yep.
That clip went absolutely insane.
Love it.
Yeah, I love it too. Over 60,000 views on the clip so far. And close to 1,000 comments between the different platforms, whatever the case may be. So a lot of conversation happening.
Yeah.
People seem to be confused, from my view, just reading the comments. People seem to be confused on all that this will entail, what the process of this even getting approved looks like. Because just to be clear, this passed the House.
Yes.
The Florida House still has to continue on to the Senate.
Yep.
And then even then, which that could be its own fight. The bill could die there.
Yep.
Or it could come alive there. And even within that, it still has to be put on the ballot for November with a 60% majority for that to pass. And even then, which is something you told me before, and I'll let you jump off after this. Even then, we don't even actually know how it will be implemented because, things take time. There's all the legalities and things we have to, go through. Yeah. Obviously, pulling, I think I was reading your numbers from your article, hundreds of millions of dollars out of the budgets here locally.
Yeah.
What are we going to do about that? There's obviously a lot that needs to be said. Last thing I'll say too, we don't know what's going to come into its place. Robin, take it away.
I would only say for people who have questions,
yeah,
they really need to contact their local representatives, their members of Congress.
Yes.
Find their information on the state legislature website. But really, the most important thing that people need to remember is there is no plan currently at this point to replace this revenue. So it all sounds great. I'm going to save on my property taxes. As a homeowner, I would love to save on my property taxes. But I also recognize there are certain things that we need that we can't pay for if we don't have property taxes. So for anybody who has questions, I do think they should contact their local representatives. I do think they should do their research. Not everything is always as great as it sounds. And if it does come to a vote where we actually get to vote on it as part of a constitutional amendment, I just hope people become educated. They learn what they need to learn, because whatever you vote for is not necessarily what's best for you. It's what's best for the community.
Yeah.
Because we potentially lose things like libraries. They could limit their hours. They could be closed. We don't know because we don't know where this money's coming from. Non-emergency resources. So certain transports or ambulances could be potentially affected. We don't know. Children's Services Council, that's a huge one. They are solely funded by ad valorem taxes.
Yeah.
That's a huge one for the state of Florida.
Of programs. I said this last week. They are responsible for a large chunk of the funding, at least here locally in St. Lucie County, for the Boys and Girls Club. Large chunk of funding for the Boys and Girls Club, along with many of other programs which we all take part in and enjoy. Sometimes I don't even know if we know that that's where that money is coming from, but just want to put that out there. But
there's a lot of things that we don't know yet. So for people to say, absolutely, this is the best idea ever, we should get rid of property taxes. I just want people to think about it long and hard and do some research about what you lose potentially when it is a full cut, because there's a lot of things that we pay for: roads and infrastructure, stormwater management. There's a lot of things that get covered that would not be covered if we choose to just cut out property taxes at this point.
And something I want to expound on too before we jump into this next one, which you said something last week about our renters, which potentially with the sales tax increasing, obviously the people who rent and lease within the state are going to, have to foot that bill. But then the people who own those properties, you said something that they aren't sort of part of this process.
The bill is actually targeted towards homesteaded properties, meaning that you have to live in it, you own it, you live in it, right? It's your primary residence. 6 months and 1 day, according to the state of Florida, you have to live there. If you're a renter, you're renting from somebody who does not live in it full time, right? Theoretically,
it's
a commercial. It's a commercial property. That person does not get the benefit of that homesteaded property exemption because it is an investment property. So you are paying for their potential increase in property taxes. They could go up, we don't know, but somebody has to pay for this. So sales tax is more than likely going to go up as a result. And the people shouldering the burden of the property taxes are going to be those who own commercial properties and those who own investment properties.
And this is like our Airbnbs too, like people who own. Oh, wow. Because you said 6 months and 1 day.
6 months and 1 day is what the state of Florida requires for you to be a full-time resident. So we do have some snowbirds who come and go and they claim Florida as their full-time residency. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about people who own a property. Maybe it's next door to them. Maybe it's an investment house. Maybe they just use it occasionally when they come to visit family, but their primary income from it comes from an Airbnb. They theoretically do not qualify for this exemption.
Gotcha. And more of the onus is obviously going to fall on those people.
You would assume so, because
one would have to.
Money has to come from somewhere.
Well, and the reason why we're assuming is because there isn't a plan in place yet as to what we're going to do about the shortfall, because we still have to fund all these programs. Now, and that's a huge piece of that. We could probably delve into that for weeks, days, hours, whatever. The other conversation that was happening as well, which was this injustice from the comments, people citing the fact that, well, government wastes a whole lot of money.
Right.
And that we need to cut down on our spending, and this is why this is a good thing. I don't have a comment on that. I just want to say, I don't think that's the same thing.
They're not, right? They're not mutually inclusive.
No.
They are two separate conversations.
I don't see them as that. Yeah. And speak on that.
And I think for some people, I think when you look at a local budget, because there's a local budget, there's a state budget, and there's a federal budget. And they're all different buckets of money, and they all have different purposes, and they all get derived in different ways. So we'll just keep it local because it's just easier, right? I think for people locally, what they need to recognize is your property taxes pay for your police and fire rescue, which are exempt from this bill. They pay for your schools, which are also exempt from this bill. But your property taxes also pay for the staff that run your city or your county. They pay for your roads, your road management. They pay for your stormwater management. They pay for any number of things that we deal with day in and day out, right? And so I think when people talk about removing property taxes would be a way to balance a budget, I don't think they're even. Yes, there probably is some waste that needs to be addressed, but you don't accomplish that by eliminating revenue.
Yeah, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Exactly, yeah. So if we want to take a look at somebody's budget and determine, okay, are we spending a little bit too much here? Could we maybe do a little bit better here? Could we have a process improvement opportunity here? Could we be more efficient here? That's a different conversation than I'm going to eliminate all revenue. And therefore, I'm going to balance a budget.
Yeah, and I mean, more or less changing the business model of Florida. I mean, more or less. And I think, it's something to just think about, and I'll end with this, a bit of sort of just from memory lane, people telling me about Port St Lucie and sort of Port St Lucie betting really big on residential. I mean, back in like 06, 07, obviously in 08, that seemed like a terrible, terrible bet. Because, the housing market and everything that happened in the recession there. But now coming into 2026, well, now it's looking amazing. Because, I should say coming into 2025, it's looking amazing because look at all the people moving up from West Palm and Miami into the residential that Port St Lucie has built. Now, we don't even know if that business model shakes out anymore.
But I would like to say this, and I'm going to get on my soapbox for a second. So my apologies to everybody here.
Soapbox.
This is why planning is so important.
Oh, okay.
So we've had commissions who have been very residential friendly for, let's say, 8 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Right? Because supposedly development pays for itself. P.S. It does not. That's a total fallacy. So
why? Why do you say that?
Because you're counting on development to come in and supplement your budget.
Okay.
So that it balances.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, it takes a couple of years for that to catch up. There's no magic fix. And when we're not charging developers certain things to be able to pay for new schools, to pay for a fire station.
When you say certain things, you're talking about impact fees. You're talking about all the things that come with
it could be tree mitigation fees. Yeah. It could be impact fees. It could be, we now have to build a new school. And so who's paying for that? Is we're moving more people into these residential areas. So I do think our commissioners, and I don't want any hate mail about this, I do think some of our commissioners did us a little bit of a disservice by approving so many residential units without making them affordable. But also, when we're expanding these things like the urban services boundary and we're building outside of the current areas that we currently need to fill in, and we're taking commercial and industrial areas and we're taking them and making them residential, we have no way to offset some of that revenue. So we need to do a whole conversation about land planning, about how things work, why you're supposed to have certain things where, what kind of revenue that generates. Because I do think all of this is, as we've had people move up from Palm Beach County into St. Lucie County, into Martin County, because now we've become these bedroom communities for Palm Beach County.
Yeah.
We're not seeing the investment into any kind of business. And so we don't have the jobs to support people moving here. And now we're playing catch up. So to your comment earlier about Amazon putting in a center here.
Yeah.
Like these are conversations we should be having simultaneously. If we're going to invite businesses here, simultaneous to that, we should be building to accommodate people to live here.
Yeah. And those buildings may need to be affordable relative to the jobs that are coming here.
Right. Because we don't know what they're paying. And guaranteed they're not making $150,000 a year.
Exactly. I was going to say, respectfully to Amazon, I'm not sure if anybody's starting a family off of the salary that they're getting from Amazon.
For one person, right. Assume the second parent doesn't work, right.
Yeah.
But it's a conversation that we need to have, and we need to do a better job when we're talking to our commissioners, because we are creating this space where we've got all of this residential, no commercial, no industrial. And instead we're taking that commercial and industrial because in that moment, it's more profitable for that developer to build homes instead of investing into what they bought the land for originally, which was commercial or industrial.
And funny enough, and I'll end with this and we'll move on. I just seen this TikTok of this girl saying that Port St Lucie, great place to live in. But for the traffic that it has, we don't have the jobs that justify the traffic that we have. She said it has the traffic of a big city, but the jobs of a small city. And I was thinking to myself about the stat that I always hear floating around, which is 60% of the people that live in St. Lucie County travel outside the county to work.
I'll do you one better. I would agree with that statistic. And they are driving through Martin County down to Palm Beach County.
Oh, yeah.
So we're not even seeing the benefit of people living in Martin County. We're getting the traffic impact because Port St. Lucie traditionally is a little bit lower as far as living expenses go.
Yeah.
So people are living in St. Lucie, driving through Martin to work in Palm Beach. So we've done something wrong somewhere.
This is going to be a long-term conversation. I'm hoping that we can have people on, experts on, to walk us through and learn more about this. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Every week we like to talk about two good things. And so my one good thing, so two good things, one for you, one for me.
Yes.
My one good thing this week is I want to give a shout out to Captains for Clean Water and some other groups, but they are instrumental in helping with House Bill 433, which the bill is irrelevant. It's the section that's most specific. So Section 47 was basically a muzzle clause, which would prohibit people from having an opinion about agriculture and agricultural practices. And so shout out to Captains for Clean Water because they led the charge on this. Without them, our First Amendment rights would look very different when it came to this House bill. So kudos to them for this.
You know what's so fascinating about that? I was just thinking about this the other day. I feel like bills are like this people open the door and they like throw something in there at the last second and
see
close
what happens.
it. Yeah. It's just like, how did that work its way into the bill? Like,
it's been part of the bill. That's the scary thing.
Interesting.
But interestingly, the more scary thing for me is the state representatives, one, that put it in there, and 2 that supported it.
Gotcha.
So when it comes election time, I need everybody to check who supported this bill, because you need to know who you're voting for and make sure that the people you're voting for have your First Amendment rights in mind.
Very interesting. Well, I have a good thing, and the TikTok is almost at 10,000 followers for
That's
Sunland
crazy.
News. It's insane. I mean, to think it's only been...
I assume this is since I came on.
Yeah, obviously. I think you're responsible for like 70% of the growth, obviously. The fact that we've only been posting videos on there for, I think, right around like 8 months, it's pretty good.
That's amazing.
I would say that's pretty good. But the reason why I want to bring that up too, and it's something I want to touch on last topic, which was, man, am I starved for like good Florida news. And let me just say, there's some great Florida news out there.
Yes.
I want to shout out, I read Florida Phoenix every now and then.
I love Florida Phoenix.
They come to my email.
Yes.
I think I accidentally
Craig
signed up for
Pittman
it.
is one of my favorites.
Oh, nice. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I read everything, to be honest with you, because I have to report on it. The local news here, I appreciate. My thing is, with the last topics we were talking about, after the last episode, I went on YouTube, I searched Florida property taxes. Man, it was really, really thin in terms of news. Now, there were some people on there that...
A lot of opinions.
People who are in real estate talking about it. Is this good or bad? Like all that different type of stuff. But in terms of news and reporting what's happening, man, it just felt so thin. And for Florida to be the 3rd largest state, like behind California, behind Texas, shout out to the Texas Tribune. I don't even live in Texas, and I enjoy that publication. It just seems like the media in other states is more robust. But when it comes to Florida, I don't know, it just feels thin.
Yeah.
So this milestone coming up, and we just hit 11,000 on Facebook, 5,000 on Instagram. It's just, I feel like there's an appetite for what it is we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Tennessee Holler. And that's actually who I would love to be when I grow up.
Oh, nice. Yeah. You're like, this is it. This is the one. I'm
never going to quite get there. But I appreciate how fast-paced they are with information. And most of it is about what's happening at the state level.
Okay.
So I love their format and I love how they do things. But I love the Florida Phoenix because I love the in-depth stories. But Craig Pittman's my favorite because he has such a good sense of humor when it comes to telling a story.
Yeah.
That I really appreciate the obscure references that he uses. But also... he has no qualms about just putting it out there.
Yeah, for sure.
And people can make a decision for themselves. I really do appreciate that. And I would love to see this become like an online version of the Florida Phoenix.
Yeah, no, I would love nothing more. And if you know of any publications out there that I may be missing, please let me know. But I just want more of it. I know it's important, even just from doing the couple episodes that we've done.
Yeah, the more information for people, the better. I welcome people to be in this space.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure, especially this year. So anywho, we'll take a break and we'll be right back. So last week, got a bunch of comments from the last episode. I wanted to read a couple and have us sort of just respond to them.
Do I need like some popcorn?
Maybe.
Not
maybe on this one, but on the upcoming episodes after this comes out.
Okay.
Somebody commented and said they love the pod and how both of us are keeping them informed.
We're adorable. Of course they love it.
Oh, yeah. You're funny. You're hilarious. Somebody else said we're easy to watch and listen to, so I thought that was cool.
It's very nice.
Yeah. We did have one, though. Somebody said, so the removal of home rule is intentional as Palm Beach County and St. Lucie County communities are currently fighting intrusion of data centers in their agro areas. We just talked about that.
Yeah.
So just like Robin stated, with the change in these bills, it removes the ability of an approval process and developers will take over.
Yeah.
That sounds very doomeristic.
Yeah. It's kind of like when we talked about, I think it was House Bill 691, the agricultural enclave.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It basically strips all approval from the local commissions.
Okay, and so I'm just going to repeat back what you've explained to me.
Yeah.
Which is, each city has their long-term plan of what they want the city to be.
Yep.
More or less, there is an area in which they would like people to build first because, one, this is where all of our services are at. This is where all of our water is flowing to. It's much easier to service the buildings here rather than out west somewhere where we don't have a fire station. We don't have the water to run out there. But this bill is basically going to allow people who do buy up those rural lands and agricultural enclaves to say like, hey, we're building out here and local municipalities really can't say no.
Exactly. Yeah. It takes away the ability for the local municipality to say no.
And they still would have to end up servicing out there because obviously you can't leave them
Still
high
our
and dry.
responsibility.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And the craziest thing is these agricultural enclaves typically come with currently an agricultural exemption. So if you buy agricultural land, right, you're supposed to farm it.
Yeah.
It's supposed to have some kind of agricultural benefit. Typically, you pay less in taxes with an ag exemption. You could even pay zero taxes with an ag exemption.
Depending on what it is.
Depending on what it is.
Yeah.
So for some of these investors who are buying this property and people saying, oh, but it's paying for itself because they buy this land and they're paying taxes. You don't know that because if they're getting the benefit of an agricultural exemption, I guarantee they're paying less taxes than I am. Wow. So for people to have these conversations about, isn't it great that we're building homes for people? Again, the conversation is so much bigger than just, we're going to build homes.
Yeah.
Right? Because now still we got to get a roadway out there. We may need a school out there depending on the demographic that they're building for. We need a fire station. We need a police station or at least a substation.
Yeah.
It is not as easy as just saying, I'm taking this 10,000 acres and I'm going to put houses on it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a deeper conversation. And sometimes I think our conversations online don't allow for that deeper in-depth thing, which is why we're doing this.
Yeah.
But this is what it is we need to be talking about.
And with the removal of agricultural land, when this is my whole thing about single family homes and, commercial property and industrial property. Anytime you change the land use, you're changing the intent of what's supposed to be around it, right? So when we have these single family homes that get built and we're taking away agricultural land, we don't get that back. So if this was formerly, and I know it's got to be hard to be a farmer. I'm not discounting that at all.
Yeah.
And chances are that they're going to do well selling their property to a developer. I don't begrudge them that. But we should be doing a better job as a state, as a county, as a community of supporting our farmers. Because once that land is gone, it's gone. It's gone. You don't get it back.
Yeah, there's no reversing that.
There is no reversing that. It takes decades to reverse that. So if the land is fallow and you can't farm on it, that's one thing. But to incentivize people with development doesn't fix a food problem. It doesn't fix an affordability problem. The conversation, again, so much bigger than just we're building homes.
Wow. We're going to close out with some events. We'll be right back after this. We made it to the end.
We did.
Again, another episode. I love this thing. I could do this all day. You want to do it every day?
Every
Radio
day.
show?
Every day.
Before we check out here, I want to mention, one, I'm excited that the fair is coming into St. Lucie County this weekend.
Ours just left or is leaving.
Okay, so they're coming our way.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. I love that. And then the city of Port St Lucie is having, I believe they're calling it the Fam Jam Festival. They did it for the first time, I believe, last year, but it's a Black History Month festival. They're encouraging Black artists, whether you're a painter, sculptor, musician.
I love that.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's incredible.
Amazing.
Hundreds of people come out. My friend Jaquan, he had a photo exhibit there last year.
Wow.
Met two amazing ladies out there that encouraged him to do a photo exhibit in here.
Okay.
It's amazing. It's incredible. So
Where is it?
This is over in Port St Lucie, Westmoreland area, I believe.
Gotcha.
If I'm wrong about that, I'll put the details down in the description.
Okay.
But yeah, it's in PSL. So it's going to be great.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. So if you are in the area, come out.
That's great.
Yeah.
The only thing I would like to offer is that we have some upcoming guests on our podcast. Super exciting.
We do.
It is.
Tell me.
let me tell you who's coming on.
Okay.
We will have Bob Zacchio from Project Lift.
Oh, yes.
Very excited about the good work they do and to share
that
with everybody what they do. If you're not familiar with Project Lift, definitely check them out. Bob does a way better job explaining what they do, but basically supplying a way for kids to get social emotional health, wellness and therapy as they learn a trade so they can become a contributing member of the society.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love that.
Yeah.
But if anybody's interested in joining us on our podcast, you're welcome to contact Jamin.
Yeah, reach out. Just email me at hello@sunlandnews.com.
Yeah. It's good stuff. I enjoy it. And
amazing.
I love that our community members are getting involved and sending us suggestions, but we'd like to hear from the people directly. So
yeah, absolutely. That's what the podcast is for. I think if you want to come on, definitely reach out. We'll make it happen. And our goal is just to continue to. That's why I'm excited for next episode after, as we have these guests. I want people to learn more about what's happening, what's going on. People running for office. Let's hear them out. Let's see what they've got to say. I think it's all for the betterment of the county and hopefully for the state of Florida.
Yep.
So we're gonna make it happen.
Agreed.
This has been an amazing episode.
Always a good time.
This is incredible. We're gonna add something else to the set next week. Beware. Okay. Look around.
Like a game.
Yeah, something. I don't know. We gotta put some stuff on the walls more. Anyway, this has been amazing. We'll see y'all next week.
See ya.
Bye.